Hi, I'm Steve Ruth, a professor in the School of Public Policy at George Mason University, and this is about a dozen-minute presentation for everybody taking my hybrid courses. I'm doing two of them in the fall 2013 semester, and for those of you who haven't taken a hybrid course before, and we don't offer too many of them in the School of Public Policy just now, this is designed to bring you up to date on some of the things you can expect. I've done several previous presentations like this that are actually on the syllabus itself, which you probably found on the school website. But this is more specific, and I hope it's helpful, and I hope it answers this one question that is crucial in your own decision as to whether to get on this this particular bandwagon. I call it a bandwagon because there are more than a third of all the college students in the United States are now taking a course online like this for credit. So this is not unusual or eccentric, but it still is something that you have to decide on your own whether it's for you. So that's the crucial question that you want to answer. Is this approach right for me? I'll take you through a few things that I think will answer that question. So let's get started. These are the kind of frequently asked questions that come up. I'm just going to summarize. There's one answer as far as this course is concerned. To all of them, is the material we cover the same as in the regular version of the course, the one that's taught 15 or 16 times when you attend class in a regular semester course? Same exam, same requirements, expectations. These courses are either 4 credits or 3 credits, so the expectations are high, and the same amount of working hours are they required. And the answer to all of those questions for these 2 online courses I'm teaching, the answer is yes. All of those are the same, but the format is considerably different. So let me talk a little bit about that. First of all, what a lot of people find intriguing about this kind of course is that the commute time is drastically lower. My estimate is that maybe 50 or 60 hours of coming to class and staying in class and then coming back from class is saved by this particular approach. Many people find that interesting and useful, but there are some other things that are different that some might find to be a little bit off-putting. There's extensive clickable content in addition to the normal books and reports. We're not going to be online hearing the professor so much or hearing each other so much. We only have a few online or meetings together face-to-face. So we're not going to have much face-to-face time. So the rest of it is clicking on a lecture, clicking on a reference, clicking on some of the course reports that are all up on the website. They're all there, but you're clicking on them instead of fanning through them in the more typical way. We do have a couple of books assigned, and of course in those cases you use them in the traditional way. There's a big emphasis on frequent posts. You're going to need to be online almost every day for a little while looking at the course website, which will be quite extensive and designed for Blackboard so that it gives you maximum utility, but you're going to have to be looking up there to see what people are saying, not only about what you put up there, but also your own comments and people's reactions to what they put up there. The posts are just about all of them visible, so your formal as well as your informal posts are all up there for people to see. I think you could argue that that's exactly the way it is in terms of a regular course because people hear what you have to say. But since I'm asking you, and any course like this would be asking you to have something to say pretty often, like many times a week, that may be different for you, and it may be something that you don't feel quite as comfortable with. The high participation requirement is definitely different, and I hope not too bothersome, but anyway, it's there, it's out there. There's also more writing. And in most of these classes, there are, in addition to the posts every week, every other week, formal ones, and a couple of times, 3 times a week at least, informal ones. We're still going to have normal assignments, a final exam, which I pass out about a month ahead of time. It's a take-home exam, all that sort of thing. So there is, in general, more writing. Some of you may find that not exactly to your liking, so at least you can examine that before you sign up for this course finally. And I mentioned there's much more time spent online. We don't spend hardly any time in class, maybe about 4 evenings, 3 or 4 evenings the entire semester instead of 15 or 16. So that's a big difference, and so we spend a lot of time online. This is one that may you find somewhat disconcerting, but the literature irrevocably, and in every place that I find, it says that one key to online learning, whatever sort of course it is, whether it's humanities, whether it's a geek course like the other kinds I teach, or other ones, that are absolutely crucial to meet deadlines. The idea of waiting for a couple of weeks after the deadline has expired and putting in your post and catching up, that doesn't work in this. So I'm going to have to take advantage of those findings and ask you to be sure that you meet the deadlines. You always put COB, close of business, and the formal posts are due on Tuesday, close of business. So at 4 or 5 in the afternoon on Tuesday, that formal post every other week has to be up there. And notice that half the grade is based on some kind of online activity. The posts, team projects, there'll be a team project, and things of that sort. So once again, in terms of how you succeed in this course, and my experience is that people do at least as well or better in grades in courses like this. A lot will depend on the way that you handle that half of the course. Now, these are just some quick reminders of what's expected in terms of the posts themselves. Since overall the online portion is worth a lot in the course. As I've mentioned several places on the website that we've already set up for the course, there are formal posts, and those are due once a week, or once every other week, I should say, every 2 weeks. And that biweekly is a funny word. It can mean once a week, once every 2 weeks, or it can mean it can have other meanings, but what I mean, so I'm trying not to use biweekly. Basically, they're due every 2 weeks, a 250-word minimum. I've got a sample out there for you to look at. It's very hard to do it in 250 words because I'm asking you to look at my lecture, my brief lecture, the assigned reading and viewing, plus the student's own, your own student URLs that you found, plus anything else that you think contributes to understanding that week's lesson. Put it all up there and put it in your own words, and that's really due every, how long would that take to do? I don't know, maybe 40 minutes, 40, 50 minutes to do that. I figure maybe 3 hours a week is what you need for this kind of a course outside of class. And remember, you're saving a couple hours every week just from not having to commute. So there's a pretty interesting trade-off there, and I think you can probably take advantage of it. That's for the formal posts, which are due every other week, and the informal posts are due frequently during the week. I've used the arbitrary number of 3, but if you are reacting actively to the other people's posts, then you're probably going to be putting something up there at least 3 times a week. And more if you want. What's expected in the posts, in the formal posts, the ones every other week, due by close of business Tuesday, comments that relate to all the assigned readings. In other words, if there's 3 or 4 reading or viewing assignments, somehow integrate all of those into your comments. And also my lecture. I'm going to be putting out about a 10-12-minute lecture every week, sort of calling out the key things to look for and giving you some ideas of the what I think are important themes of the course. So be sure to be referring to me also in this formal post. The informal posts, they're shorter, but be sure that they are relevant. There's a thing we call the rubric. It's a very fancy, highfalutin name, but it just means what's expected if I'm looking at those posts and I'm trying to evaluate whether they're appropriate and useful, comprehensive. Then these are some of the qualities that each one would have. I could comment on each one of these, but I think you know that you get the idea. If you simply say, yes, I agree, on one of your informal posts, that's not really helping people very much. But if you want to say, yes, I agree because, or I don't agree, or I think that this is not really, I think this misses the point because that's the sort of thing we're looking for in these posts. And of course, I didn't put it in there, but remember always that they are my posts to you and your posts to everybody are supposed to be courteous. That's never been a problem, and I'm sure it will not be in this course either. So in summary, the point that I'm making in all of this is that the online courses will present the very same material: exams, discussions, team projects, the grading emphasis, and all those things that you look for in a course before you decide to take it are the same as any normal class, where normal is going to class 15 or 16 times for 2 or 3 hours. But what's different is most of this activity, or a very large amount of it, occurs outside the classroom. It saves a lot of commute time. As I said, I estimate it's maybe 50, 60 hours, probably more than that. And it changes the learning paradigm. So that's the part that you have to be aware of. And I would just remind you that it's not for everybody, and it may not be for you. There are a lot of people taking college courses this way, including about 1,000 of these courses at George Mason itself, and I think about 200 of them are in graduate programs, so it isn't necessarily an undergraduate phenomenon. In my own online courses, I have either master's or PhD students, and they seem to find it to be reasonably compatible with their own needs. So to finish it up, remember that there are problems that are associated with not being in there face-to-face, being able to turn to your left and your right, look forward and backward, and see students and colleagues around you. We only do that a few times when the class meets face-to-face, so that's a big change because most of the presence, most of the communication is going to be online. So there are challenges of this new environment, but there are also some really big benefits if you can find them compelling enough to decide to take it. So the bottom line is that this is a technique that's available to you for these courses and an increasing number of them at George Mason University, but it's yours to decide the answer to this question. Is this really for you? From my own perspective, I hope it is, because students do very well in this format once they get used to it, and I do hope to see you in the class, and I wish you the best. Thank you.